Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm John.
I'm Colin.
And this is Simple Man's Barbecue. Today, we are going to take a look at some custom cutting boards by Colin. What's the name of your company?
It's Golden Wood Company.
Hope you guys enjoy the episode.
A Simple Man's Barbecue.
If you have any interest in purchasing a cutting board or anything made out of wood, you can contact me via my email. It's going to be right here. It's cjpolichek@gmail.com. Got some nice honey locust here for John's cutting board. As you guys see, he deals with some big slabs of meat, so big slab of wood to make sure you can properly cut that. This is locally sourced. We've got another friend that has a sawmill and he cut it a few years ago, so it's just been sitting air drying. We decided to leave the bark on just to add a little extra, character to the piece. I did go ahead and epoxy that edge, so that way when John needs to clean it, we're not having any bacteria issues. It's washable. For the lettering and the font, I've got a CNC over here that's all controlled by my computer. So I did a design, cut it in 1/8 of an inch, and then did multiple epoxy pours to get these different colors going. Also used a bit here to get the juice groove. So this is all done on the CNC, and that way John can contain his mess a little bit when he's making his next concoction. So from here, we want to make sure that we seal this up. Close the pores on this wood, but we don't want to use a regular sealer. We want a food grade quality cutting board oil. So we got this Walrus oil that we're just gonna rub on, let it soak in for a few minutes, and then we're gonna lightly pick up any excess oil and should go from there. So we're gonna start with the back side. Can do my own designs. I can also work with you guys with, if there's a certain design you already had in mind, we'll see what works out with my machine and what I'm capable of doing. I can do somewhat elaborate designs, but like anything, the more detail, sometimes it's a little more difficult to cut. But I'll try to make just about anything, and I'll be honest if I think it's within my wheelhouse or not. This is probably as thick as I want to go. We got 1.25 inch. Maybe 2 inch would be max. 30 to 33 long would be, as long as I'd want to go. This is kind of a pretty close to max size with lettering and my juice groove because it's done on the CNC. So that's where the limitations come into play. So we're gonna hit the front here.
What wood would you recommend making these out of, or is there a variety you could do?
Yeah, there's definitely a variety. Your hardwoods would be ideal. Your oak and like this honey locust, part of that oak family. Just something that when you are cutting, it's not going to be, your blade's not going to beat it up too much. Yeah, that's really coming alive here with this oil.
Man, that looks pretty cool. Look at that. And Colin came up with this design all on his own. That's pretty sweet. How did you get it different colors like that?
I've got just a 2-part epoxy and a different dye kit. So I have 10 different colors that when you're mixing it, couple drops, and it produces the color that you see.
So is this like CNC'd in?
Yeah, so that's CNC'd in. We cut that first about 1/8 of an inch deep, and then come back through and fill in with the epoxy. And the epoxy will spill over a little bit, and that's where I sand it down, and that's where you've got this nice clean lines. It's from after the sanding. Yeah, so now we're just gonna wait for 12 hours and put another coat of oil, and after that it'll be ready for John's next episode. If you have any interest in purchasing a cutting board or anything made out of wood, you can contact me via my email. It's going to be right here. It's cjpolichek@gmail.com. And just shoot me some info on what you're looking for, and I can get back to you as soon as I can, and we'll figure out what works for you and get a price that fits what you're looking for as well.
A Simple Man's Barbecue!